Joining me now is Raiza Arias, the VP of Operations for Empire Medical Training. Hi, Raiza.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Good. This is day 2 for you. How do you feel?
I'm having a great time. I feel like I'm even learning stuff about medicine and procedures. It's been super cool. More importantly, how are you doing and how do you feel the event is going?
So I feel amazing. This is home to me, right? This is why I do everything I do every day at the office, at Empire Medical Training's headquarters, because I want to make sure that we're bringing the utmost experience for our students and for our faculty and just to keep growing this community.
So you've seen a bunch of these events now over the years. What to you makes a really successful event?
So, believe it or not, there's a lot of steps to running these events. It's not just finding a hotel and putting classes together. It's developing the education, updating it, finding the right group of faculty to train our medical practitioners to set them up for success, finding a group of partnerships that will come to provide these type of resources that also complement the courses that we're teaching this weekend, plus our event management team. So we really make the magic happen every weekend.
So let's go back to the faculty piece, because that's obviously a huge deal.
Yeah.
Talk me through what it takes to find the right people to teach.
So, as you know, Empire Medical Training is around the entire country. We're pretty much doing seminars 2 to 3 cities every weekend. For example, this weekend we're in Orlando, Florida, but we're also in LA and Kansas. So, that being said, we are constantly recruiting the right type of faculty that have done their education path, also been a practitioner for a few years in the space, and are specializing in these techniques. So, of course, with our chief medical officer, we go through a whole interview process and a shadowing program for our faculty before we kind of let them go on their own to lead our courses.
And you actually take some faculty from former students.
Correct. We've been very fortunate that a lot of Empire graduates, as they've gotten their experience, have called us back and were asked to teach with us. So I'm happy to always see that happening just because they've been on both sides, right? They've been a student at Empire Medical Training, and now they're helping lead the future in our different academies.
From a vendor perspective, what does it take to find the right vendor partners, to make them feel comfortable? How does that work?
So because we teach in so many places, definitely the companies that we work with have to be able to facilitate that kind of support on a national level, because we want to make sure that we're offering the same resources and opportunity to all of our students throughout the country. But that being said, it's not just about coming to our events and being here in person. Our vendors partner with us on webinars. They partner with us on special sales to try to get devices, software, or just other supporting needs for their med spas to come into fruition. So it's a lot of moving pieces with that partnership program, but I'm so happy that we have it and that our partners are super supportive of us and want to make sure that this is coming to our students.
And you're doing a lot of research off hours. You're going to trade shows. You're seeing the emerging technology and trends.
Yes. So, as I like to say, every once in a while, they let me out of my cage and I'm able to travel to just different trade shows, for example, like the Aesthetic Show, Aesthetic Next. We've also going to AMWC. There's an international AMWC in Medellin, Colombia as well. So Lorena, Constantino, and myself, we travel all the time just to try to learn what's going on in the world, what's trending, where we need to go with our education from the aesthetic side especially, and also to find new companies to work with and new faculty.
And then from an attendee perspective, when they become members, part of the family.
Yeah.
How is that experience for you? How important is it for you to nurture them every step of the way?
I think that if I had to put this in a sentence, that is why we do what we do every single day. I want to set up our students for success. So every single piece of their journey, I'm in touch with the team, from the fact that they're taking one class to potentially getting a membership. Why a membership, right? People ask this all the time. We make them economical because we want them to be reachable. Because when you get into these worlds, whether it's pain management, regenerative, aesthetics, you name it, it's not just one topic. It's not just one treatment that you're going to have in your office. You need to have multiple. So that's how kind of this membership model came to fruition and why it's been so successful. So there's that element, right? Coming to do the education. But the beauty of Empire Medical Training seminars is the amount of people that are here. So the amount of networking you can do. So I always tell students when I have the opportunity to come to seminars like this, I go and I speak in the front of the class and I say, please take advantage when you're on break, when you're at lunch, and talk to your peers. Your friends are out having a great time. They're at brunch, they're hanging out. You're the one investing in your education right now, and so is everybody next to you. So you're in a room with people that their goals and your goals are aligned, and you'd be surprised what can come out of that, in the future as you're going through this.
A potential partnership.
Exactly. Well, believe it or not, some of our students actually like join forces and open up practices together. And it's so nice to see as they're going through their journey a year out, and then all of a sudden they tell me, "Hey, I met so and so for the first time in this seminar. And now we've traveled all over the country, and now we're opening up an office together."
I love it.
So that, that's a definitely an amazing component, but also being able to take advantage of the whole virtual component that we have to our education, because not everything has to be an in-person course. So to be able to get more tools in their toolbox, they can use our on-demand portal, they can use our members portal. So there's just so much to give, and I'm so happy that I get to be part of that journey.
For vendors, why do you think it's so beneficial for them to become part of the family?
So now that I've been doing this for a few years, and my hands are kind of in every part of our process, but I think partnerships are extremely important for both sides, for us and our students, but also for the companies that we're joining with, because we teach in high volume. So to create that exposure for them is a wonderful opportunity in these smaller seminars. Of course, these huge trade shows are great, but being able to come here and have a few hundred versus a few thousand, they're able to spend a lot more time speaking with them and catering to educating them about their product, device, services, and finding the right fit for them. But I always like to tell the different companies that we work with, and just because as I've gone through this journey with many, I mean, over 70 different partnerships throughout the years, I would say it's not just the in-person component that I think they should take advantage of. We do educational webinars for our students, which I think is super important, and that's targeted on a national level. So it's easier to logistically plan and then capture more attention from our audience. There is the members portal. All of our attendees tend to buy memberships, right? They take a class, they realize what a great experience is, and then they're with us for a whole, minimum of 2 years. So being able to utilize that members portal to their advantage, to be able to get out, new products, new promotions, new combination of packages is super pivotal for these companies. And I'm happy to see that as the journey continues, they just keep continuing with us, because I think they see that the ROI is there for them. And it's also just being able to partner on special events. Sometimes we go to big trade shows and we'll partner together. We've host larger summits, for anniversaries or special events. And all of that alone, I think, is worth partnering with Empire Medical Training, to be honest.
And part of what's new and exciting with Empire Medical Training is that now you're expanding all of this internationally.
Oh, yes. I can't believe I almost forgot about that, Dave. So we were in Medellin at the beginning of this year. We're going to Mexico now in July, and we're planning Peru and Panama. And I am so excited that we've added this venture to Empire Medical Training, because as I like to tell any practitioner that's coming to our educational platforms, it's all about practice and creating diversity and just learning more and more from different people. That is only going to make you a better practitioner. So now we're able to create an affordable way for our students to go to these countries, get hands-on practice, meet different faculty from all over the world. For example, the one that we're doing in Mexico, of course, we have faculty members from Mexico, but we have people coming from the United States, we have people coming from Venezuela and Brazil. So I'm very excited to bring all of those educational pieces into one space and let these students take the opportunity to learn, network, and also enjoy. I think education should be fun. It shouldn't always be, pressure and having to make sure you're getting it right. And this is just an amazing opportunity for everyone, including us.
And it's probably neat because I'm assuming that practitioners in other countries maybe teach a little bit differently than they might than their American counterparts might teach. So it's different perspectives.
Exactly. And that's an amazing component. And there's some things in certain countries that are being practiced currently, but not in the US, but are making their way to the US. So this is going to give them that competitive edge as well.
And for medical practitioners watching, why is it beneficial for them to become part of Empire Medical Training?
So, of course, I think the number one thing is you need to be passionate about teaching, right? You need to be able to take a group of newbies or people coming into this industry for the first time and guiding them and giving them that confidence. So I would say that's the number one reason to become a faculty member. But also, Empire Medical Training has been around for over 27 years. We train on a national scale, so we can really help you create that exposure and create brand power for yourself as a medical professional in this field. But not only that, you'll be able to travel with us throughout the different parts of the country and diversify the education that we're offering. We like to really involve our faculty on our education and get that feedback. And that's actually how we build new classes or we adapt certain courses. So I think all of that and joining, this community of support, we have a leadership team that helps and guides additional faculty member as they're coming into the fold. Or also we try to have like group weekends where I bring everyone together and we do trainings. And we also have all of our vendor partners that are not only educating our students, but will eventually now connect with our instructors. And believe it or not, a lot of our instructors have become top KOLs for these companies because they taught for Empire Medical Training, and that was the connecting factor. So it's definitely a long game, but I think the other part, just even directly for them as a medical practitioner, how better to be endorsed than be a teacher for this type of treatment. And when your patients see that you're teaching, they know that you are qualified to do these services. And I think that will only help grow their practice.
Raiza, tell us about the Fast Track program.
So, fast track. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a backstory. So, this kind of was born because about a year ago, Dr. Constantino, Lorena, and myself, and a group of the leadership team went to a seminar, and we decided to have a focus group at the end of the weekend with the students. And one of the things that we heard all the time was, we want more practice, but we can't afford a way, or we don't have resources to do this. Private trainings in this space can cost $5,000 to $15,000. And I understand for someone that's starting out, that it can be a lot of money, right? But we want to set people up for success. We want it to be reachable. We want to continue to grow this industry as it should be. So we decided to develop Fast Track. And Fast Track is a full day hands-on training. This is not a course. It's not a seminar. You're actually going to our faculty's office and you're spending the entire day with them. You're going to be injecting. It is a smaller group. However, I think it's always beneficial to practice and also observe other students. No patient is ever going to be the same. No patient will always need the same thing. And not only are you going to be learning techniques, but you're going to go into their office and see how they set it up. You'll see the different devices they have, why they do things a certain way, how they're marketing. You could pick their brains. They all started as students as well. And then they became, practitioners in the field, and then they started developing their offices, and some of them have treatment, a whole office with 8 treatment rooms versus 1. And you can get there too, but yes, you have to practice, you have to put in the work. And I get that that is a combination of like time and budget, and that's why we developed Fast Track. So you'll be able to do a full day immersive toxin training, and if you decide to do the second day, you're doing a full day immersive filler training. You can bring your own patients, we can provide patients for you, but again, it's all about setting up our students for success, and that's why I think this is an amazing opportunity for them to take advantage of, and I really hope everyone does.
Yeah, it's cost effective, it's time efficient,
Correct.
and it's a ton of practice.
Absolutely. And I mean, as we all know, practice does make perfect. So
Do you sleep?
sometimes.
It's a lot of stuff.
I know. Well, good thing I'm in aesthetics, right? So I get a little tweak here and there. I'm not going to lie.
Might as well take advantage if you're here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it was great talking to you. Thanks so much.
Of course. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.